You don't stretch enough the skin, you need to open. Like this, you will see where you do the cut, you see? Okay, so I had finally recorded a very useful tutorial for microblading. And the reason is because I filmed how my student does microblading versus how I do microblading. So you guys will see what to focus on and what mistakes does my student. Okay, so the first step that I will do for my student is I will do the first path on both of the eyebrows. And my student's goal is to fill in the color and finish the procedure. My gloves are black and her will be in pink. And in this tutorial, you will see a huge difference in our microblading and what mistakes my student does. Now my student will start filling in the color into my microblading and finishing the procedure. And the first very mistake what she did after taking wet tissue, she didn't use the dry tissue to make the skin dry. It means when she will do microblading, the water will dilute the pigment. This hand has to be stable.
Yeah.
So you need to. Do you see how confident I am in my stretch and my hold? And you can 45 degree.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry guys, it's actually 60 degree towards your direction of microblading. Here stretch, okay. But your this part have to be here because your stretch is here. 3-point stretch. If you're too well, you're stretching. So definitely your 3-point stretch has to be around the shape, otherwise it will be too far. And she of course is not confident yet. She has to really stretch the skin well, especially with her pinky, and hold the tool more firmly. You don't stretch enough the skin, you need to open. Like this, you will see where you do the cut, you see? So this is how you open. So that's why you use this. Yeah. Perfect, okay. Can go next one. Okay, now after we solve the issue with the stretch, another thing, remember to take the pigment on tip of the blade. And of course, after a few passes, after a few strokes, it's better to clean up the blade because it will get some skin on it and it will become not that sharp. So remember to clean the blade. And don't stress out too much if you feel unconfident and you're shaking or anything else. It definitely happens to every student when they do their first work, and it will take quite a few clients to get confident and feel the skin, the stretch, and the hold of your tool. But now the trick is, do you see you stretch?
I do see what you
like
mean.
this. So now you have to stretch in the direction so that you don't end up having the curvy stroke. So it's good to move the stroke on the bone.
To do on the bone.
Yeah, it's just more like stable. Do you see? I move the skin, so now it's on the bone.
Yeah.
And now the stroke is straight, so I can easily fill in the stroke. If it's somewhere here, the area here is too soft. Meaning the skin there is soft. That's why we move the skin on the bone to have this stable, firm base to do microblading on. But I think clean up the blade. To clean up the blade, you just need to take the dry tissue and wipe out anything that blade could have. And till it's still open, I suggest to
Rub it in already. Okay.
So the trick is, because the cuts are open for quite a little bit of time, maybe 40 seconds, it's better to fill in the color right away after you do several strokes. This way you will get more pigment into the opened scratch rather than wait till you finish the whole eyebrow and fill in the color to the whole eyebrow. Now she's having the question how to stretch the skin when you work on the bulb of the eyebrow. So I will show her, and it's the same principle. the area you're working on, you just stretch the 3-point near that area. And the better you stretch, the more clearly you see where to fill in the old strokes. And I can't stress out more, if you're a beginner or advanced artist, you have to use the best quality needles. Do not cheap out on needles, because these nanoflow needles, they are extra thin, and you won't make that mistakes with these needles if you're specifically beginner as you would make with the other needles. Because if the needle is thick and you're making mistakes, the stroke will blur out for sure. So if you want to ensure you do not make the strokes super blurry, super blue, or super deep, these are the safest needles on market, and they are definitely will make your heel result looking so good. And I pretty like how she does it right now. She definitely feels more confident, and you can also notice she does this 3 times into the stroke, just as I taught her, and she does it very carefully, sliding the pigment through the cut and not making any cut nearby or cut this deeper. She just filling in with the color. Okay guys, I feel at this point her stretch is not enough. Her lower and upper stretch is not enough. And you can see how I am stretching the skin. I'm pulling the all skin to up, so it's pretty much stretched. Now she's really doing this better. Also, the last tip in this tutorial, remember that the front is so important not to overdo. You don't want to have a blurry strokes or too dark front. So if you're a beginner and you're not confident in your skills, just do one pass and maybe do not fill the pigment into the strokes on your first try, specifically at the front of eyebrow. But in her case, I allowed her to do the front because she's doing quite a good job. And the reason for that is also because she has been practicing 1 month before doing the model, her first model. So practice really helps a lot, and it definitely cleaned up her technique, and definitely if you practice a lot, you will feel much more confident. So this is the final result, her first model, her first microblading, and indeed it looks so good, and I'm so proud of her. So feel free to reach out to me, ask me questions. You can also check out our online courses on beautyslash.com. You can check out the NanoFlow professional microblades on our website, and just feel free to connect with me on Instagram, beautyslash.